Well, good morning, friends. It is a few days after Thanksgiving, and we have decided to do a pantry challenge for the month of December. So what that's going to look like is we are not going to buy as much as we usually do for our family for the month. And we're doing that for a few reasons. Obviously, number one is to clean out the pantry, freezers, fridge, all that good stuff. We have quite a few things that are probably either close to expiration or things that we've kept around that maybe I've had for one recipe for a client and then we never used it. So those types of things like candied ginger, I'm either going to be looking for some creative ways to use that up or possibly just donate it to someone else that would actually enjoy it. For those of you that don't know, my name is Katie and I am a food blogger at For the Love of Leftovers, and I am a food photographer for other food bloggers. Yes, exactly. So my day in and day out is cooking and photographing food. Yes, and doing recipe development. Good point. Yes, recipe development for my family and for my clients. So oftentimes our fridge in our pantry is stacked to the brim. So we are finishing off the last of our bacon this morning and having that for breakfast. But like we've got tons of other things in our pantry. We've got multiple freezers full of meat. Yes, all cow. Yes, we've got cow and pig and chicken. We've got all kinds of things, lamb. So for the month of December, we are going to focus on using what's in our pantry and buying as little as possible. And so one of the reasons I'm doing it for the month of December is because during November, I actually double up on my client work so that I can have most of December off. And so what that means as far as, our finances and whatnot is that we have a limited budget coming in. I'm not taking on any extra work, and we have the food that we have. We've got a ton of leftovers. We've got a ton of things in the pantry, in the fridge, in the freezers. Lots of stuff that isn't going to be used for a client. So it's all fair game. I don't have to keep the kids or the husband away from it. So that means we can really maximize everything that we have and use it to its biggest potential. So one thing that is worth noting is this little guy has an egg and a dairy allergy, and pretty severe ones at that. So we're going to be testing out some recipes as well, trying to make them dairy-free and egg-free so that he can have them and enjoy them as well. And for those that don't know, I am a pastry chef along with being a food blogger, so that helps give me a little bit of an upper hand in knowing what it is that we can do for him. Also gives me a little bit of an upper hand to just kind of understand flavors and the way things cook and presentation even. So even if we're having maybe kind of a sloppy thrown together dinner, we can make it look fancy and fun as well. So not only are we focusing on eating what's in our food, but we're also focusing on minimizing our budget for the month of December and ending December off with a kind of a refill of our pantry just for a holiday meal. So with that in mind, that we're going to be spending probably more than usual towards the end of the month, I figured starting now right before December and working through December to really use up the things that we have is the best course of action. We will of course have to still go to the store for a few things like apples and bananas and milk and almond milk for those that can't drink regular milk. And I'm not limiting myself on that. I want to make sure that the kids are getting what they need. We have this one with food allergies, and then we also have one or two with autism. One of them is diagnosed, the other one is not yet, but showing signs. So there is some food aversions, sensory, textural type things there that I need to keep in mind as well. In my one that is diagnosed on the spectrum, he has a very limited palate, which is very typical for those on the autism spectrum. So still have to keep those things in mind. Not going to, no, we're not going to traumatize anyone for this challenge. So if you're into that kind of thing, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button, because there are going to be lots of videos coming out with what we are making and eating this month, and probably a few minor grocery hauls. All right, you ready? Want to finish off that bacon? So this here is another place that we have food. Clearly it has gotten very disheveled, and it's not all like food. Like those are pizza boxes, and then I have some tins for making freezer meals and some empty jugs back there that clearly I thought we were going to use. I would say now's the time to get rid of them. And then this here is our pantry. This is actually the back of our fireplace, and at one time it was used to stack wood, but now, because you really shouldn't keep your wood inside, we have added some shelves, a few little things on the door, but we've got a mess going on in here. As you can see, a whole bunch of stuff, and yeah, it definitely needs some love. We need some organization back here, but I put all my cooking stuff, things like that, in here because I don't want the kids getting in here all the time. That's why we have stuff in the kitchen in those drawers as well. This is just a very large door, and as you can see, it invites little babies to come pick through things that they shouldn't. So I think we're gonna have to get maybe some large bins, try and organize this a bit, take stock of what we have. So all this stuff here on the counter was from these corner cabinets, and I really struggle with these because they're so deep and I am super short. I really can't reach anything on this shelf unless it's right there. And oh, there's still stuff up in there that we're gonna have to clean out. But so I struggle with this. So maybe we need to get maybe some boxes for in there to help organize. This is kind of our snack corner, so I still want to make it accessible. Okay, we've got it all emptied and cleaned out. Now everything's up on the counter, so time to go through it and get it all put back where it needs to go. So one of the things you'll notice in this video is that I am running around a lot, going back and forth between our cupboards and the pantry behind the fireplace, because I'm realizing that I have multiple things in multiple places, like the same thing in multiple places. I had to marry so many items like peanuts and lentils and cereal and just a bunch of different things, because that's what happens when you have a large family and you have food spread out all over the place. Things get pushed in the back and then you forget that you have them, and then you go out and buy more, and that's just silly. And I know I mentioned that I was thinking of getting big boxes for the pantry, but I'll be honest, that wasn't in the budget. So what I did was I took some of these cardboard boxes that you see me having here and cut the tops off and fit everything in there. Easy. Okay, so we're making our way through our in the kitchen pantry, and I realized that I can't really put all the things away without also addressing this at the same time. I thought I was going to be able to do like one at a time, but I've got things spread out in so many places, it feels like, so I'm gonna have to tackle this at the same time. Thankfully, I'm not going to remove all the things. Like over here, I've got some organization like already kind of in place here, so I should be able to get away with not doing as much. And a lot of this stuff is just going to be removed, I think. All right, well, let's get to it. So this pantry, I have like a love-hate relationship with it. So we built these shelves in here because I needed shelving. I needed something in there that was steady. I wanted it to go the full length, but then we also keep our some miscellaneous items in here, right? So we keep some things in here like the broom and the dustpan. Those have to be hung up in here as well, like just random, seemingly random things, but like things that need a home in here. So I'm in here organizing the best of my ability, and also kind of realizing at the same time that boxes wouldn't have even made sense in here because I have everything packed to the brim, and that's something that you'll get on a homesteading family of 8 household. So it is what it is, and we just kind of make the best of it, make it look as pretty as possible. It needs to be useful, not Pinterest perfect. So let me show you what we did. So in these big buckets with these twist top lids, and I'll leave a link to those in the description because they're amazing, totally worth the money for them. But I store big bulk items in there like flour, sugar. That white one's got rice. We've got maple syrup, kind of these oddball big containers that haven't been opened yet. I'm just putting them down there. Over here, we've got the dried mashed potato flakes. Got some farina and grape nuts, which honestly, I probably should just get rid of those because I've had them for quite a while. Then I've got all of my kind of canned vegetables, this random can of crushed tomatoes. I have all of my tomato products up here, tomato, peppers, just because I usually use those together. Tons of coconut milk, some canned apple jelly that we did, our home canned carrots. Then I've got my flours that I use most often that are not all-purpose flours. And then we move into beans and lentils and split peas, anything like that is here. And then I have all of our extra specialty items that haven't been opened yet. Like we love Asian food, and so we've got all kinds of Asian condiments here and salsas in the back. Got my oils. We love avocado oil. I've still got a bit of coconut oil to work through. And then some other items such as corn syrup of different kinds. These are Campbell's condensed soups of different kinds, nutritional yeast, powdered milk, tapioca starch. Up here, I've got lots of flaxseed combinations. I've got my rice here that's not rice, my grain rice, so quinoa, couscous. And then we've got the other canned items that I have in bulk. So I have roasted peppers, dried tomatoes. This is actually cherries. And then 4 jars of jalapenos. And then I've got banana rings, pepperoni. So I think we've got a Mississippi pot roast in our future. Lots of artichoke hearts. I'm gonna have to make some artichoke dip. Various rices, all kinds of different rices. Pineapple juice, and then we move into more of the canned fruits in a way, I guess. So we've got pumpkin. I just put yams because you can use those interchangeably. Then we move into the canned condensed milk and evaporated milk. And then we're back here at the Mexican inspired type stuff. Up top, we've got pastas. I figure up top is good for pastas because we have pasta a lot. So it's not like those things will be forgotten. And then I've got kind of specialty flours and mixes. So we have pizza a lot. So I've got pizza flour there. And then I've got stuff to make our own tamales, masa. And then I've got stuff to make sushi back here and kind of the specialty rice flour right here, just kind of keeping our kind of cultural stuff in there. And then I've got some more specialty flour here. We've got things like semolina, buckwheat, chickpea, kind of those random one-off things. I've got my cornmeal up there. And then here we've kind of got a little keto corner and baking corner. Then I've got seasonings and jarred gravy is back here, some gelatin, and then our few boxes of broth. I have canned, not canned, but homemade turkey broth that's in the fridge. We'll use that first. Breadcrumbs, a couple other things. So this is kind of my husband's go-to area for his keto stuff. Well, there, we've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. Added in a little baby, little toddler. And that's looking much nicer than it was. And then we've got the most used cabinet in the house, our snack cabinet. And I purposefully did not make these super full. So really what you see is what there is. So we will use those hot dog buns and burger buns for lunch, dinner today and tomorrow, just to get them used up. And then here I've got my JJ approved snacks that don't have egg or dairy. And then in here, this first one, this is for my autistic son, because he can come in here and get bread. I'm gonna have to buy some more bread or make some bread and put it here, but he can make his own peanut butter sandwich in the morning, which is his thing. That's what he eats. So, and then I've got just extra stock out back here. I already have a ton of tea out, and I've got the stevia for my husband, so like nobody's gonna even have to touch that. These are all in boxes, so we can just pull the box right out. Even this one, I cut the tops off. Everything's just ready to go. I would say that looks much better than when we started. Look at that, so much better. Got all of our dried fruit up there, and all of our nuts, fresh veggies. Some of them are downstairs. We've got snacks and cereal, baking items. And we know a mother's work is never done. So here I am cleaning the kitchen, tidying up, getting ready to close up shop for the afternoon, and getting ready to get dinner together. So thank you all for joining me, and I hope this was a little bit inspirational to you in a way that you don't have to make your house Pinterest worthy and do all those fancy things, buy all the fancy boxes. Use what you got, make it a home you love. Till next time, bye.